Hello, it's that time of day where it's time for a little energy boost. Woohoo! How to have boundless energy video number 5. I wrote down 7 of these tips total. Of course, we could go on and on and on and on and on forever. And that's where you get to continue to use my website, my blog, and previous webinars where I've talked about energy, as well as future things that I will bring you. And today's theme, the answer to how to have boundless energy, is sticking to what's appropriate for your personal balance. And in the fall, I got sick, and then I had trouble getting better, and my health was just kind of being pushed down. And I also have this mindset and this great willpower of always just pushing through and pulling my body along no matter what. And I went through 3 different trainings where I was doing that. These were long days. I was staying 100% present, even though all these things were happening in my body, these pains, the fatigue. I stayed awake and I just kept pushing. But for the most part, I just would feel worse, not better. It was like just dragging myself into the ground. So after finally the 3rd one, I had to say, okay, that's not working for me, that type of balance. And by the 4th training that I went to, so these were all very close in time and not enough time for my body to heal between. So by the 4th one I went to, I slept through a lot. I got wind of the schedule and I pick and chose which classes I wanted to take, and then I rested and let my body heal from the virus that was in it during those classes. And then last week I went to the most intense out of all of these trainings, the Enlightened Warrior Training Camp. Going into it, I was a bit nervous, noticing my experiences that had been happening in the past. I wanted to get the most out of it. I wanted to be present for the other people in there, and I didn't want to trash my body. And when we arrived, they wanted us to commit to being present and on time for all of the classes. But knowing what had been going on for my body, and that in the past, when I tried to make my body do whatever my willpower wanted, that hadn't worked, I didn't want to try that again. And so I did make a little bit more of a commitment to my body rather than to the schedule of the program. Lo and behold, I did wake up one morning, the 2nd morning. So this happened very fast, but the 2nd morning, very, very sick. Very, very sick all of a sudden. And I started to go to the morning yoga session. It was very, very nice. But then as it got more active and more loud and they opened the windows and the room got cold, I just thought I would be better served working on healing myself back in my room. And I went into my room. The first thing I did was slept for another 3 hours. And then I got up and I meditated. I did my energization exercises. I did a full suite of energy healing on my body. I sat outside and I sunbathed. And then I got a couple natural supplements from a friend that also helped me, and somebody brought me tea. And I think the sunbathing was probably the one that did the most for me. But literally, that seemed to be all my body needed for its personal balance during that program, because after that point, I was fine. And so I joined everyone for lunch and for the afternoon class, and then I was 100% or 110% there for the rest of the classes on time in absolute full energy. And, at other times, right, my personal balance was slightly different, like the program where I was sleeping a lot. And that program, my body was strong enough to handle such an intense time, and it just had a reaction to, one of the programs, or at a certain point. I'd already been traveling quite a bit before the program, so that already put impact on me. But I knew what to do to bring my body into balance and to heal it quickly. And so that's an important thing, is just deciding when you make commitments, which commitment you can follow through with that creates the balance for you. And then use that balance so it's okay when you do get tired, when you do get sick, and then just do what you need to do to get better. For some people, it probably does work, and every now and then it does work, where I don't take the time off and I just stay present with what's happening and it heals. As I've been working lately, body's been a little more sensitive. So I think that I made a good choice. I healed faster than I ever have before when I did that. But I think there's other forces at work, you could say, during that warrior camp, because we've invited ourselves into an experience of creating such upliftment. And so in another scenario, it could have taken longer to heal without that extra grace falling in. So I hope that gives you some examples of personal balance, and you can think about in every single moment what's the personal balance that you need. I will caution, as we learn from the warrior camp, that we often like to make excuses. We often like to hold ourselves back from our potential. So really, really, truly make sure that you're not pulling yourself back from anything. And I was very clear that as soon as I was better, I was going to step right back into the game, and I was going to miss the least amount possible. Many blessings. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye.